3,
All
2,
right.
go. Here we
Hey,
go.
everyone. Welcome back to the Wednesday Night Live Hangout with me, Kate Tucker. And of course, we've got
Garrett from IDC Woodcraft.
You Betcha. You Betcha. Man, tonight is going to be exciting. We've got big news for next week. So let's just start off by getting that little mystery guest out there in the open. I'm sure Garrett will tell you a little bit about that later tonight. And you guys, you're cracking me up every single week with this who is going to be first on the live, and it looks like Mark Lindsay
Mark
first.
Lindsay is the winner tonight. Da, 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 da.
I'm absolutely cracking up, loving this. So
Yeah.
funny. And then, of course, Ellen, she pops in next and she says, nice, thinking probably she was going to win it. So, oh my gosh, so much fun tonight. You guys probably notice I'm sitting in a little bit of a different space tonight. You actually can see a little bit more of my, well, kind of my CNC. I have Garrett's table ready to do his big epoxy mold. Here, I'm just going to give you guys a quick sneak peek. So there's the desk that I normally sit at, and here's the big mold, 5 foot by 3 feet. It's going to be enormous. It's ready to pour. Garrett and I were even talking about maybe getting together, like shooting a video for that section of it. I think it'll be really fun. What do you guys think? You think we should do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It sounds like a good time to get up and hang out with Kate and out in the country in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, we'll do that. Do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, let's say some hellos and tell people who we are for those who have not been on here before.
Yeah. Well, you go right ahead.
Okay. Hello, every CNC creator out there, boys and girls, men and women. We are on our Wednesday evening live, our CNC Hangout, as we have started to affectionately call it. And we like to answer your questions as best we can when it comes to CNC and other stuff. And yeah, so there we are. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, your CNC router bit supply company, and Kate, Women Who CNC, who is starting this new trend for women to get into the CNC world and help them out. So she's got a Facebook group, Women Who CNC. And if you are a woman who is getting into CNC and you're not in the Facebook group, make sure you go to Facebook, look up Women Who CNC, sign up. Ladies only, guys. Oh, by the way, Kate, I am now posting the podcast of our mentoring session.
Oh,
so the
okay.
Podcast now. So
Podcast. All right.
for anybody that didn't know, IDC Woodcraft has a podcast. So I got quite a few podcasts out there, and all you got to do is search IDC Woodcraft podcast, and you'll find it. So
okay, what platforms is it on?
It's on Spotify. It was on Anchor. It was on one called Anchor, but Anchor Spotify bought Anchor, so by default I'm on Spotify now.
Very cool. Well, that's exciting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now you're going to be even more famous, Kate. So for those of you who have not been here before, this whole Wednesday evening live started with Kate looking for some answers to how to start her business because she was challenged. And I have been, over the last 3 years, built IDC Woodcraft up from nothing. I literally started out with zero income, nothing, and has built this company up to now I've got some amazing team members, and it's growing. I'm bringing on people doing content, and also I put out last week I needed someone to design a jig for me, and I got a bunch of emails, so I finally got around to responding to those today. Right, and so I'm got to weed through that because I can't have everybody building the same jig for me.
Yeah, that would be a little complicated. It could be interesting, but complicated in the same mouthful.
Right. All right, let's say hi to some people. We got Brandon, and let's see. Let's get over here. Jack, of course. Jack is nice and early. And Jim Pitts. Have we seen Jim Pitts before?
I think we have. I think he's been on here a handful of times. Yeah.
Okay. And Jim has the first question of the evening too. So we'll come back to you there, Jim. We've got Julian in the background. She is the administrative coordinator for IDC Woodcraft. She is keeping me under control, and she is making sure we catch the questions, because Kate and I have been struggling week after week to get through all this, and we feel really bad whenever we check out. We're like, gosh darn it, Garrett, we missed so many questions. So
we're trying to do better.
Yeah. Always working to do better. Oz is here, and Chris, and so you said Ellen, and these guys are already talking to each other. You know what? Look at that. They're all saying hi to each other. They know each other. This is so awesome.
I know, it's been so many weeks now. I think we probably need to go back and figure out how many episodes we've actually been doing of this, because I know, the storage only has so much, and then it starts deleting them, and we're going to lose how many of these we've actually done. So we have to do maybe our 50th episode or our 100th episode. We need to do something momentous and celebrate that. So we need to figure out how many of these we've actually done. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'll put Adam on it, the guy that's handling that stuff for me. So yeah. Okay. Dan is here, and Benny said hi to Jim, and they're all piling in early. So got to scroll down. David, hi David, and Doug E, William Coleman. David's got a question too, and C Tucker. Someone who's C Tucker, Kate? That's your last name. That's at 7:59. We got Kate Tucker, and C Tucker, Dion, and Raven, Ralph, John. All right. We're ready to go. And Eddie, and Cornerstone Woodworks. I like that name. Nice name. Roger's
C Tucker. Okay. I don't know.
No.
We'll have to see who they are. The other thing I noticed that was kind of weird is that my actual Rise and Shine logo from my business, it said Mark made it here first. I did not type that. I did not put that in there, which is really odd, because that's my YouTube channel. If you scroll down here, let me find it and pop it in here. I was just looking, I was like, what the world? Here, where'd it go? Right here. Here's my YouTube channel. Mark made it first. That's me. I did not type that in there.
Interesting.
I'm kind of wondering, okay, did somebody have access to my YouTube stuff here? I don't know.
Well, there's only one other way that can happen is they got your logo and put your title on there, I guess. No, I don't know. You can't. I don't know. Possibly. I have to look into it. We need some investigation here. That's not cool.
That's not cool. Definitely. That's a little spooky.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, let's cut this out of the bag first. So next week we are going to have a guest on, someone who I have been noticing in the Facebook groups. They have been making some pretty amazing epoxy pour signs, large signs, and the person's name is Nate Woods. And so next week we can. Kate's really good with the epoxy, and he's diving in there, right? So I think we all can learn at the next level.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. It's such an up and coming subject. Everybody is dying to learn how to work with epoxy, and especially those multicolor pours. And it's so cool because we have the CNC capability to pour and then carve and pour, and then that cycle just keeps repeating until you get these really cool projects, and then you surface it and it all comes to life. Oh, it's so cool. And people are eating it up on social media. They're like, I could watch that all day long.
Yeah. It's like Mark Lindsay last week. He showed us that pirate that he did. Said he used 16 colors.
Yeah, something crazy. But insane. It was cool because he was saying he could do 2 colors at once, because the pirate's hair and then his boot, or whatever it was, he could do multicolors. Different colors at one time. So I thought it was pretty neat.
So next week we're going to be talking about epoxy pours. Also, if you have a question, please start it off with the word question. That will help Julian catch that. Of course, Julian, she's a miracle worker. She's catching it all anyway. I don't know how she does it. All right.
She's being so modest in the background if y'all could see her.
All
She's like, oh my gosh.
right. Let's rock and roll the first one
All
here. We got 16 questions out here right now.
All right, so let's say hello to our brother Jim. He says, hello from Wichita. Has anyone used Vectric to design for 3D printing? Looks like Anchor Make seemed to work well with STL and others. Your thoughts? I don't do personally any type of 3D printing. I know you could probably reach out to Sam Coleman. He does a lot of 3D printing, and I know he also has Vectric that he works with. So he might be someone you want to reach out to. What do you got?
You know what? I got absolutely nothing. It comes out completely empty up here. I have no clue whatsoever.
I know.
Uh,
Maybe we can
but
throw this out to the community,
you
see
know
what they
what? I'll
say.
bet you who knows the answer to that is Jack in the shop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That
Jack,
guy's the
absolutely. He
miracle
does
is,
lots of that.
yep, he's a 3D printer guy. He's converted his CNC router into a laser, and he's probably talked to Jim a little bit about that. But Jack, maybe you can throw out some brainstorm ideas. You are definitely the guy to answer that question. So, all right, you ready for the next one?
Bring it on. Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. Chris.
Hey, Chris. All right. How do you guys get in the channel before the notification goes out? I thought each one had a unique address. I think that's for you. Maybe just
I
for like
don't know.
streaming purposes.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, no one can comment until I actually create the stream. And today I created the stream at about 2:00. So,
Yeah. I think it's because maybe people are in different time zones. So,
oh, that could be a very good possibility.
Mark's over on the West Coast, so he's like 6 hours ahead of us. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's 3, but even so, you're right.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
3. Oh, I'm
this
sorry.
didn't get this. The no comments could have been made until this was until I made it, and I was like, I guess it was about 2:00. So.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
actually behind the 8 ball on this one. Didn't quite get it out. So don't know. Don't know.
All right. So
Hog?
Brother David has a good question for us. Hog versus beast. Differences, when to choose one versus the other. So I'm going to let you
Good
handle this
question.
one.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's talk about what the hog and the beast is for those who don't know. So in CNC routing, we have router bits, as we all know. And we have like our 1/4-inch down cutters or compression bits, and they've got a nice clean spiral blade on them. And those leave nice clean cuts. However, what we do is we end up using them to hog out a lot of material, like in a bowl or something like that. And that causes wear on that tool. So IDC has come out with what we call, technically in the machining world, a roughing bit or a chip breaker. And so what it is, it's got the same cutting edge, but it's been cut what would you say horizontally as well. So it's got a bunch of ridges along the flute length. And what that does, it breaks the chip off a lot easier, and it's meant to grind away the material a lot faster. And they can work quite well when they're dull. They're not designed to leave a good finish cut. They're designed to remove a lot of material really fast. So the hog and the beast, I am going to bring that up on the screen real quick once I bring the website up to show you what they are. So where are we? Come on, there we go. And okay. So come back to the stream. I'm going to share the screen. And we're going to bring up the IDC website. And there we go. So you see in this image right here, there are a couple router bits laying down. The one in the front is called the beast, and the one in the back is called the hog. They both technically do the same thing. They rough out material. You can see the serrations along the flutes. The difference is, number one, in the length and the flute length and the overall strength of the bit. So the beast has a 1-inch flute length, and the hog has a 1.5-inch flute length. They're both 3 flute bits. So the beast can handle a lot more force over the hog because it's a much shorter bit. I've run it through maple at 1,000 inches per minute with an 80% step over at the full depth, 1 inch of the flute length. So that ran out pretty fast. I cut out a 1 inch deep 8x10 pocket in 1 minute and 30 seconds with that bit in maple. The
Wow.
yeah, the hog, on the other hand, has a longer flute, which means it's not as strong. You get more what we call tool deflection. In all machining, there is deflection, right? And what that means is there's a bit
Yeah.
of bit deflection of the bit that will actually just flex just a little bit, and so there's more bit deflection there. The hog can break easier, and sometimes there are breaks that I get, and when you break it, I
Yeah.
replace it. Right? Um, but so the time you want to use one over the other is when you use the if you have a shallow pocket, anything less than an inch in a pocket, use the beast because you can just rip through that stuff in no
Yeah.
time flat.
My
Right?
gosh, yes.
Yeah. If you're going deeper, then that's when you want to take into account the hog. Right, because the beast has flute lengths up to an inch. The hog can go up to an inch and a half, and you can actually get to about 1.75 inches with the hog. So
Yeah.
that's the difference between the two. Is you want to be sure it's the depth of cut that really comes into play.
Yeah.
So
I actually just did a big project, a big epoxy project, and I was cutting into some maple I had as well. And I actually cut down, if you go over to my Instagram page on Rise and Shine Wood Signs, you can see I actually dig all the way or dive all the way down into a 3/4 inch piece of maple, full depth. And it's just, I mean, chiseling it out. The piece is about 18 inches wide, and I think I did it in about 19 minutes, and that was with the hog, but that was the exact reason Garrett just said. Make sure that if you need the depth, you're using the hog, and if not, use the beast. Um, I mean, there's been times I actually did on my YouTube channel, I did a like a test on what the beast could actually hold down. And because I have the Makita router, I didn't actually use brad nails to like nail it down to my CNC or nail it down to my spoil board. Sorry about that. So a lot of people had commented, hey, use brad nails. But the reason I didn't is because I wanted to see how much I could actually push the Makita router with that just like CA glue down and some clamps. Um, so yeah, it was an interesting test for sure. I definitely want to try it again, and see if the brad nails would hold it and I can still push my Makita. I don't know. It's a little, you got to find those like sweet spots where you don't want to like tear up your machine and you don't want to tear up your Makita, but you still want to push the boundaries a little bit. So I don't know.
mhm.
I'm a boundary pusher, so I gotta
Right,
I gotta
and
do what I gotta
just
do.
so you know, for feeds and speeds, it's when you get to the pro level machines like the Phantom over there, is when you want to push it at the higher feed rates, like up to 800, 900 inches per minute. I was
Yeah.
trying to break the bit. I couldn't break it. Right. But
Yeah.
when you're dealing with a bench top, like the long mill that we have right there and the
Yeah.
Onefinity, you got to come way down to maybe 100, 120, 140, whatever your machine can handle. Your
Yeah.
limitation is your spindle and the rigidity of your machine.
I
So
see.
the hog came out first, and then later on I brought the beast out because I wanted something even more powerful and a stronger bit. So those can be found on the IDC Woodcraft website. Speaking of these hog beast bits, I was asked many times, can you come out with a 1/8 hog? I want to show you what I'm holding right here. You can't really tell because
Ooh.
this is a 1/8. We can call it a baby hog, whatever you want to call it.
A
Okay.
Wolverine, I think somebody
Yeah.
called it
And
the other night,
so,
which is
well, I thought about Wolverine. I thought Wolverine was a little bit long. So, but Adam, the photographer here, he came
yeah.
up with Wolverine. So that gave me the idea. And then, so now we're going to Badger.
Oh,
The badger.
okay. The
Right.
baby badger.
Not the baby badger. We got the beast, right? We got the
Yeah, oh, that's
hog.
the yeah,
The badger's already smaller. So
yeah,
that's where we're going. And I've
yeah,
just got them in. So I've been starting to do some tests just right here with a piece of walnut. And Liberty had a fun time learning how to design. Liberty is the lady, the team member on IDC that
yep,
ships your packages to you. She manages them. She writes you all those little love notes on the outside of the packages. Make sure you have M&Ms inside of them, and yeah.
yes,
So this
love it.
one is now under test, and so far, what I did, I'll tell you what the specs are on this. One thing I want to say when we're talking about the beast and the hog for feed rates and speeds, the
Yeah,
IDC Woodcraft phone app has all the feeds and speeds in it right at your fingertips. If you don't
yes,
have the IDC Woodcraft phone app, then it's free on your app store for Apple or Android, and it'll have all the information there for your benchtop machines. We're going to be
all
upgrading
right.
to we'll be upgrading to Pro with some of that data soon, because I also have some half-inch tooling I've gotten in, which I've also been asked about. Which
Say
I've also
what?
got like half-inch beast as well. I don't know what to
Oh,
call that. Maybe we'll have to call it T-Rex or something.
yeah, that's huge. Oh my
Yeah,
God, a half
I've been
inch
asked.
beast.
I've been asked for that too. So like, yeah, these things
That'll be
are
scary.
okay. So just so you know, before we move on to the next question, this is a 5/8 flute length. I didn't want to get a longer flute length because then we start running the potential breaking the bit,
Yeah.
and I want to keep it strong to do what it's designed to do. I ran it at 80 inches per minute, 80% step over, and walnut at half of an inch deep, and it has still performed. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
That's incredible. I am so excited to see that
yeah,
now because oh my gosh, that is going to be like such a game changer when you're working with little bitty details because
yeah,
it's like you still have to use your quarter inch bit. You just got to, mellow out those little bit of areas. So that is going to be a huge game changer. I cannot
totally,
wait to try
totally,
that out.
yeah,
But yes, absolutely. And I just want to say really quickly too, I've had a really good week. I've had a lot more students come on board for my one-on-ones. If you're looking for any type of one-on-one training, I've been so excited. I have been working with some of the coolest people here recently. They are just so hungry for knowledge. And our women's group has been growing like crazy. I just am like so just like over the moon excited that everyone is just like, I don't know, they're just so invested in their education. I'm just like, "Yes. Yes," because I mean, honestly, you know, I have so many people that'll say, "I hate this machine. I just want to throw the towel in. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so frustrated." And then they reach out and then we have like one session and they're like, "This was so incredibly helpful." I actually had a really cool student from Pennsylvania and he said that I was actually a lot more in depth and detailed in my teaching versus a guy an instructor from Stepcraft where he bought his machine, or no, from Laguna where he bought his machine.
oh really?
Um, yeah, so I was like, wow, I will take that compliment like all the days of the week. So I don't want to like toot my own horn, but man, I was just like, I'm just so excited that people are really like reaching out. They're taking their education for their machines to the next level, and they're really investing in themselves. And I love seeing that versus people just getting frustrated and walking away. Because if you don't invest in that knowledge, you've just basically got a big paperweight. Because as you know, as a teacher, if you don't know the software, you literally have a large paperweight and you're going to get so frustrated if you don't take the time to really do what you need to do, which is, you know, invest in the knowledge. I love it. I absolutely love that people are doing that for themselves. It just makes
Yeah,
my heart so happy.
that's such a good point. The easy part, some may disagree, but the easy part is actually buying the machine. The easy
Yeah.
part is figuring out what router bit you need. For those who are brand new, they're going, no, but
I don't know.
No, but then the challenge is learning how to work the software so you can become the best that you can be. And so
Yeah.
a lot of the times, I know how I was when I first got into it. Oh, I want to buy that machine, start working it, and start making money with it, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
then you just keep hitting whatever stops you keep hitting,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And so both Kate and I teach or teach the Vectric software, and Kate does one-on-ones, by the way. So if you are needing some kind of help, she does one-on-one. She does charge for it. She should. It's her knowledge, right? She worked hard to get it.
Yeah.
In the description of this video is a link to schedule with Kate, so you can go to the comment section of YouTube, or in Facebook you can go to the description of above. But also there to really get your investment, there's Kyle, right? Kyle Ely, who's built a
Absolutely.
course that takes you all the way through the Vectric software. And so you're not searching through YouTube video after YouTube video, right? You
Yeah.
get the know. You spend a couple $1,000s in your machine, spend it on your knowledge.
Mhm.
Knowledge is the most important thing. All right, let's dive
Yeah.
into the next one. We got David, brother David.
All right. He says, does the spoil board need to be 2x2 smaller in order to run a 1-inch surfacing bit, or can you use a ramp plunge to cover the entire available area?
He's
Well, you're
already
shaking
on it. Yeah,
you're
he's got
shaking your
it.
head, so you go for it. You dive right into this one.
Okay. When I make my spoil board, I take the machine all the way to the limits. All right.
Yep.
It's the center of the bit that's how do I put this? I will go to the physical limits of the machine, and just under the physical limits of the machine, so it doesn't like try to keep running.
Right.
And I will set it from there and do exactly what you said. I will ramp plunge in and then do the entire thing. So with a
Yeah.
surfacing bit, be sure that your ramp plunge is like at least twice the diameter or twice the length of the diameter of your bit, because surfacing bits generally don't have cutters in the middle of them, and you'll bottom that thing out, and it'll start burning, smoking, heating up the bit, and
It's not a pretty
ruin.
picture.
No. I would traditionally go 3 to 4 times the diameter of the bit. So your ramp length. If you have a 1.5 inch surfacing bit, then go 4 times. That's 8 inch. What, 4 inches?
Well, it'd be 8 inches if
Six.
you're using
That's 6 inches. 6 inches.
6.5 if you're using the 1.5.
Okay. Yep. Great
Yeah.
question. Great question. Maximize what you can on your spoil board when you're making your spoil board, and yeah. But
Yeah.
I struggled with that in the beginning too. How are you going to do this? And
Yeah.
just taking it to the physical limits, and
The biggest
also,
thing. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
go. No, I'm
No.
done. Go ahead.
Oh,
No,
I was
you.
just gonna say
No, no.
that the easiest thing for people to get really caught up on is, I'm going to use the corner of my box here. When you're using a surfacing bit, you want to make sure that the corner of your surfacing bit is on the edge of the material. You don't want to have all of the flutes and all of the flutes of the bit. You don't want to have them resting on the edge of the material. You want to make sure that the center of the bit, the shank of the bit, is dead center on the corner of your piece of your project that you're working with. And the reason for that is because otherwise what will happen when you get to the top of your project, you're going to be undercutting, and then it'll be trying to overcut on this side. So always make sure that you have the center of your bit on the corner of your project. So I hope that makes sense. Like if this pen had flutes, don't have it over here so your flutes are just on the edge of this project. Make sure it's square, and that goes for end mills, that goes for any type of bit. But I had to learn that the hard way with so many projects, especially I learned that with my spoil board. I'm like, why do I have an extra, like it shows the boundary, but I could not figure that out for the life of me. And so once I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. So so many things to do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, let's bring on the next one, and then we'll have to pop back and see who else is out there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so this is another question from David. He says, climb versus conventional cut direction, when to choose one or the other. So I personally use climb when you are removing any type of material, and conventional is what you will use like 90% of the time. So in the instance like what Garrett was referring to earlier with the hog and the beast, you absolutely want to be using your climb
No,
because it's
conventional. Yeah. Well, you can
what
use fine, but conventional is better. Go
conventional
ahead.
is better for what?
So conventional is better for the hog. Um,
Oh, really?
you can climb with it. You're going to get deflection, right? Um,
Yeah.
when
Okay.
you're running these bits at a high feed rate with
Hmm.
the hog or the bit, you're going to get a lot of deflection, and it's going to
Okay.
leave um, like little strips. I can't really show this
Okay.
here, but it'll leave little strips. Um, you're not entirely wrong because, like, if you're doing a raster cut, you're going climb conventional,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah.
So
Anyway,
I'm a sponge right now. So tell me what your
well,
methodology behind
in
using
machining,
conventional.
in metal machining, uh, we would always go conventional to rough out material.
Okay.
So and what that would generally leave, what happens is that the the cutting tool is turning, and as
Mhm.
it's driving into the cut, it's trying to push itself backwards, right? That's conventional.
Right.
And
Yeah.
what it's doing when it's doing that, as it comes back into the cut, you got like an arc that's already created from the last cut,
Hmm.
and it'll come in and it'll start to scrape in that arc, and that it actually starts to tear the metal as opposed to a clean cut. So conventional will generally leave a rougher finish. This is just in metal machining. When you come back to do a climb cut, this is what we call a finish cut or a spring cut. We would come in and just take a little
Okay.
tiny bit off on the climb cut. And the reason is the climb cut, the router bit is actually moving with the edge of the material, right, in the rotation. So it's
Okay.
like a tire that's wanting to go forward. And that can actually cause your machine to actually, it can actually force your machine to walk forward or overstep it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that. Now, you
Yeah.
said that's for metal working though. What about, is that same principle apply
Generally,
for wood or
yeah, the convention goes for wood as well.
okay.
Um, yeah, but you don't always see it as it's not as obvious in wood as it is in metal.
Okay. So beast or hog, you're saying we should still be using conventional.
You want to go conventional over, but the thing to remember with conventional that the bit is actually wanting to deflect into the line, so it can
Yeah.
actually overcut or undercut the finish edge.
Okay.
So you can, so if you're making a 2 inch by 2 inch square and you're doing conventional all the way around, you can actually have a uh, 1.95 inch square by the time you're done because
Oh,
that tip
geez.
deflection actually sucked that bit in just a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Makes sense?
Yes. Yes, it does. Which I just was like, you know me, when you start talking this stuff, I'm just like leaning in. I'm just all,
I know. Kate's she's like a vacuum cleaner when it comes to this stuff. So
I'm like,
she,
shit, tell me all the things.
yeah.
I want to know. Yeah, no, I love learning all this stuff. Even it's really great for me because I do have some students who do metalworking, and of course, I don't know as much about metalworking because I've never done it. So I really like to know these types of things. So when I'm asked, you know, I know. The other thing I wanted to ask really quickly is, okay, so this I don't personally use a vac table, but I'm interested in them. So if you're using MDF and you still have like underneath your spoil board, you have, those like when you lift it up, you have all the like the tracks where the air ventilation is moving through. In MDF, do you still have to cut all of the holes and then like seal the bottom and seal the top in order for a vac table to work? Or like how
No.
does that work? I'm just really curious.
So for vacuum, MDF is porous.
Yeah,
It's
I knew
it's it's held
that.
together. Yeah, it's held together with glue, but it's not so glued like that is solid like a piece of epoxy. so
Okay,
so air can pass through it. All right. So you
right.
put a strong enough vacuum on it that air is going to just pass through the MDF. Now you
Okay,
can make it more effective by uh, uh, what's the word? Kind of doing laser focus. You can actually drill holes in the board if you want to, and then
okay,
now you've got direct lines. The air is going to suck from the least resistance, right? So
yeah,
MDF on the top and bottom is pretty dense. It's nice and smooth and stuff.
yeah,
But when you cut it and you look in the middle, it's actually not nearly as dense. That
okay,
air, when the vacuum is sucking through it, if you don't seal the edges of that, then that air is going to want to come in from the sides as opposed to the top.
okay. Now, did you seal both the top and the bottom, or just
I don't.
one and like the edges?
I just seal the edges. You don't when you're doing MDF, you don't seal the top or bottom
Okay, so
because
just
then
the
you're
sides.
then you're eliminating the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. Yeah, okay.
But
Sorry, I had to think about that for a hot second.
no, love it. All right.
All right, this is Maddie.
Oh,
What bits can you push to cut faster, 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch, or is it exponential to radius to cutting area of bits just to cut out patterns on 12mm ply? Thanks. Mm,
you can cut the quarter. You can go with 1/4 inch faster. So the when you have an 1/8 inch diameter tool versus a 1/4 inch diameter tool, the 1/4 inch has 4 times as much material on it. Right. So
yeah,
so you have 4 times the strength of the metal with a 1/4 inch diameter tool. So
yeah. Plus, when
exponential
you're
to
working with, ply, you've got to be careful with that 1/8 inch because you're not really sure what you're cutting through. So
hmm.
you don't want to get your bits gummy or, you know, overheated or something like that. You got to be a little careful with ply.
12mm ply is just under half of an inch.
Yeah.
So
Uh, so I have to pop this in. I think this is really funny. I know we've been working with our
yeah, bring it in.
other things here, our questions. Jack in the shop, he says Kate is on the wrong side. I agree. I noticed that when I first popped on. I'm like, why am I on this side? Like, what is happening right now? Like, you're always over here and I'm over here. Do you notice that?
Yeah. Maybe because I popped you in first before I popped in.
Oh, yeah. I think that's why. I think that's why.
Kate's
Yeah.
number one. Then
Mm-mm. No,
let's see
just
where
kidding.
Julian pops in. Let's see where she comes
No,
in.
no, no, no,
Oh
no.
my God.
That's
Had to do
funny.
it.
She's like, no, 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 no.
She's in the background going, "Oh my God, why did you just do that, Garrett?"
Oh, that's hilarious.
Julian is back
Oh,
there monitoring everything for us and keeping everything under control. So everyone
I
say hi to
love
Julian.
it. Yes. Oh my gosh. She is hilarious. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
these comments are cracking me up right now after Jack said that.
Where are you looking at?
Oh, so I'm trying to see at 8 o'clock, Jack said Kate's on the wrong side. And then Raven, she says Kate is in the lead. And then Chris says Kate has been promoted.
She
Uh,
has.
oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, Raven got bold.
Yeah.
Kate does all the
Ooh,
stuff.
ooh,
Garrett just
that hurt.
coasts.
That hurts.
Woo!
Dang. Yeah, totally. Burn.
Uh, oh, here we've got, I see Mark Lindsay's popped on here. We've got all kinds of, I
That's
could
a
just
nice
hear him
burn.
saying that right now. Oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
is cracking me up. Oh, so we've got lots of people
Where
saying,
are you at in
hey.
time, Kate?
What's that?
Where are you at on the time? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, let's see, 8:02. So, right.
No,
Let's
good
see what
Lord.
what time is it? Oh, it's 8:40 on my watch.
By the way, Mark, you told us about the starring of the comments, and that is by getting Julian's help, that has helped a ton catching
Yes.
these questions.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You're like staying so on track. There's 9 questions out there, and we are at 8:39. We're gonna run out of questions trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, how do you like my cup, huh?
Well, I do like your cup. I
You
do.
have yeah.
I do have a cup. Yes, my son actually loves that cup and he hijacks it every time I want to use it. Because
Yep.
it's I know this is gonna sound like, as a total coffee snob, this is gonna sound ridiculous. In the morning, I don't like to use like a Yeti cup because I just want to get my coffee in my body and it's so blazing hot when you put it in like a Yeti or a metal cup. So I like to put it in your cup because then I can just drink it like on the way to school, and when I get back, then I can fill up like my big metal
Okay.
cup and come out to the shop with it.
Your $100 cup, yeah.
Yeah, no, negative. I don't pay $100 for cups.
Yeah, I had a couple CNC brothers drop by a couple days ago, Brian and James. They live over in Carrollton or near there, not too far from here. Walk them back there like I show everybody the warehouse, and Julian and Liberty are back there. What's Liberty do? She just goes right up and starts handing these things out to these guys, and but of course it's
Aw,
cool. Yeah, some people drop by, they get a little bit of swag just for being here.
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. All right,
Yeah,
so let's see. So I
kind of.
see one. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I'm just saying we're just kind of chewing the fat tonight,
Yeah,
hanging out.
yeah. So I want to throw this comment up because I feel like we can all relate to this comment a little bit. So Cornerstone Woodworks said, I am carving a complex sign as we speak. I have laughed, I have cried, I have hoped, I have lost hope. But at the moment, I have hope that this large sign happens. We we feel that.
Yeah.
We feel that
Yeah.
100%.
I am going to share something along with that Cornerstone. And Kate, you will appreciate this, and every other CNC creator will appreciate this. I had somebody email me the other day, and they asked about a bit. A bit got damaged, one of my bits, and
Mm.
so we got on to talking about it. And what had happened was the Z was not set right on the machine. And so as
Oh,
I was just moving across, the whole bit was just plowing in. Now this is a pro level machine, right? And so
yeah.
it's just plowing into this project before it got to its start point. It was the ultra smooth 1.5 inch surfacing bit,
Okay.
and by the time it got to the corner of the project, it had already like gotten that deep, coming in and out of rapid, right?
Holy
The
crap.
project this brother was working on was a table that was 4 foot by 8 foot epoxy pour table with wood all through it. All right. He
I would
lost,
have a heart attack.
yeah. I mean, $7,000 table he was building. Fortunately, he still had material to work with, but that was one of those things like, it was all
Oh,
poured, all dried, and he was starting to do his finish cut.
oh,
And
it just makes me feel ill.
yeah, something with the Z.
Ugh. Gosh, that's just heart sickening. I can say that because I have been literally like sweating bullets about figuring out how I'm going to surface this table. I've been looking at like building something with like, just some wood rails and then getting like the big metal rails and putting the router on it back and forth because I am like a nervous hot wreck because you can see that like my is like pressed against my the back. Otherwise, I would literally just like do the tiling and,
All right,
and push it
here, let's do
through.
it this way. All
But
right,
I've got to like
so
flip it, and I'm super nervous.
let's do it this way. Brothers and sisters, I've commissioned Kate to make me a river table, an epoxy pour river table. And so she's on it. She showed it. Just show them again. Turn your camera over there.
Yeah, here.
This is
That's my
a
camera.
3 foot by 5 foot epoxy pour table. Okay. So costing me several $1,000s. And she's also getting the benefit of creating content out of it. So hopefully
Yeah,
she
absolutely. Check
so
that out.
hopefully she monetizes it. And by the way, Kate has made 1,000 subscribers on her channel. She needs 4,000 hours of view time. Go watch some of her videos. But there it is. This is what she's
Yeah,
making for me. And
pretty cool, huh?
where the hell was I going with this?
The surfacing and
Oh yeah,
making sure
surfacing.
that all this
Okay,
gets
brothers
done.
and sisters. She's in the Indianapolis area. So she needs someone with an 8-foot table so she can surface it.
Yes,
So
please.
contact her. Information is in the description of this video. All right. Up above if you're on Facebook, down below if you are in YouTube. Contact
Yeah.
Kate. She needs you. This is what we do, brothers and sisters. We help each other in pinches like this. So, and she's making content on that too. So, for those of you who have joined into this for the first time, this is our Wednesday evening live CNC Hangout with Kate and Garrett. IDC Woodcraft, of course, right over there. See, I'm calling backwards camera. There we go. Over there. And Kate with Women Who CNC. Right. Oh, there you got it. You got it. Pointing up my sign.
Yeah,
And so
finally.
we're here to answer questions, or the questions that we can. What is happening in this live? This has been going on for quite some time. Is now those who are who join up regularly, they're helping out those who are asking questions, which is awesome. That's what this is about. This is a community, and that's what this is about here. It's a Q&A thing, but it's also gives us opportunity to hang out. Women,
Yeah.
if if we, the new women creators who have just jumped on here, or even if you're not new, you're well seasoned. Kate has her Facebook group, Women Who CNC. It's for
Yep.
women only, and so go join it. Right? She
Yeah.
filters hard too. Men do try to get into that group, but she does not let them in.
Yeah. It's a really cool group of women. I just want to give a quick shout out here, really quick. I see Julie Frank and her husband Tom. Yep. So Tom and Julie here from Goodyear, Arizona. I saw Julie actually just posted in the group today that they had their first successful carve. And I was so excited
Yes.
for them. I know. See, I told you, perfect moment to celebrate.
Wait! I got to do the happy dance.
Y'all, I can't with him. Oh my gosh. But yes, Julie and Tom,
I promise I won't quit my day
congratulations.
job.
Right, yes. But they had a fantastic first win today. They're super excited. So I was just I was super excited to do that.
Right.
But
I love to see people who succeed. The
yes,
coolest thing. Who was it? Was what was the name?
Tom and Julie
Okay,
Frink.
Tom and Julie. So think about this. This is for everybody. Sometimes we forget where we came from. All right, where we
Yeah.
at some point in our life we're looking for something, and then somehow CNC routers catches our eye, and we go out and we do a little research. We end up buying a machine, and we're going, "What the hell am I going to do with this? What am I getting into?" You look at the software, and you're going, "What am I going to do with this software?" And so people like me, Kate, Mark Lindsay, create content to help you out. But
Yeah.
as you work yourself along, at some point you run into this situation, Tom and Julie, and you get your first carve. There's no better feeling. And this is where you take that moment to look behind you and say, look how far I've come. Holy crap. Yeah, remember where you were when you first got into it. And
Oh
now
man, it was like
where you're at.
magical.
It's just if when you take that moment to reflect, then when you're looking into the future, saying, man, if I could go from there to here, man, the sky's the limit.
It's so funny you said that because it was like I sent you here a picture like I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks back, and it was literally my very first carve, and I'm like in the picture like this. Like I got my first carve, and can you guys believe I went from November of 2021 to my first carve to being on a live with Garrett Frome every week. I mean, y'all, anything is possible in this world. You just got to keep your head down. You got to keep working. You got to keep at it. I mean, 2 years ago, who would have thought in all this time, 2 years, 2 years seems like a little blip in time anymore. Like when you really look at things, I mean, it's just crazy. But, here we are. I've met with all these incredible people and, we're seeing and we're created a women's group and just I can't even imagine, like Garrett and I talk all the time about writing your goals down, trying to be, really business minded and keep yourself on track. Write those goals down. And sometimes I write down my 5-year goals and I'm just like, there's no way that's possible. And then I'm like, stop it. Yes, it is possible. We're going to write it down every single day. We're going to remember it. We're going to say it. We're going to become it and we're going to do it. And here we are. Here we
Mm-hmm.
are. I never thought Women Who CNC would be, something that women would want to join, and y'all people love it. I'm just so excited. It's great.
Yeah,
So,
the moral of what Kate just shared with you is, her success. She's looking back going, "Holy crap! Look where I'm at," and never even
yeah,
saw this coming. The moral of this
no,
is what she's really trying to say is, uh, your endeavor. If you're doing this for hobby or to get into a business, you focus on the goal, right, and just keep plugging away. Find the
yeah,
help. Find the who that can help you, right, and and realize, we only know as much as we know. I've started the same place too, right. Kate, I know, is going to get in, she's going to have a very successful business, right, but it comes from that determination, saying, I got to figure this out, and I'm not figuring it out on my own. I need help.
yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reach out and do something. All right. Well, Gary Wolf, how are you, brother? I have not heard from you in a minute. All right. Let's see. Question Garrett. Still having trouble with your flattening bit in epoxy? Leaving spots in the epoxy. Anyone else having trouble?
Kate, you've done surfacing on epoxy. Talk to him.
Yeah, so Gary, the number one thing that you're probably having trouble with is you're probably not letting your epoxy cure long enough. I did this in the very beginning. So I would, like, after 48 hours, I was like, oh yeah, this is good to go. I usually give my projects at least an additional, at least an additional 12 hours at a minimum before I try to do any surfacing. And it also depends on the depth and how much epoxy you're trying to take off in one rung. So, like, let's say you got an eighth of an inch too much epoxy on the top, you really want to make sure that is 1,000% dry, because if you're getting shavings, and it's kind of like staticky and kind of gummy, then your epoxy is not dry. The other thing you can do with the surfacing bit is actually lower your step over. That will help too. Um, Other than that, I don't really know that there's a whole lot else you can do without really, like, knowing too much more about the situation. But those would be my 2 tips for you to try and get better surfacing within the epoxy. So let's see. What else we
Yeah,
got?
Kate is the one to be talking about that. I designed these things for wood, not epoxy, and she's going to use it on epoxy. I didn't even think about it when I was designing it, and she's got some pretty smooth finishes from the Ultra Smooth. So
Yeah.
those are, I think I've got them linked in the description of this video too. So, and if
Yeah.
anybody here has got the Ultra Smooth surfacing bit, I modified these designs from your standard bit so to leave a much smoother surface
Mhm.
cut, and so it works well with wood. And Kate, you've had some success with that.
Oh, I've
Just
had
want
great
to,
success. Yeah.
yeah. So here's James. James and Brian dropped by yesterday, so they're just saying they enjoyed meeting the team. Express their thanks. Liberty for the swag.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool. That was so cool of her. That's very cool of both of you to have them, or to all of you, for their embracing them while they're there. So that's a lot of fun.
it really is. I enjoy having people drop by. You have
So,
to you have to communicate with me because I'm pretty busy. I got meetings going on tomorrow. I'm going to be in a 3-hour meeting, and
oh, goodness. Yeah.
that's business
Okay.
for you, baby. Go ahead.
I know. Oh, I'm reading some of these comments. They are literally cracking me up about me hacking. Like, so here's Jack being a goofball. He says, Kate, go change your password, make it long and complex. They're talking about, like, me having access to getting in here first, so then that way you're now in the co-host seat. So, and they are just like, Jack's saying, my password is password 123. And then Chris is like, this is my really long password. You guys are, Jack says, put some numbers in it too. They are cracking me up with this.
You guys are funny.
They're just having a good
Uh,
old time. All right. Let's see. All right. So who else is next here? Is it
We've
Kelly?
got Kelly.
This
Kelly.
Oh, okay, here. Sorry.
Hey,
So we've got
Kelly.
Kelly.
Over.
I was
Hey, Kelly.
looking, hey, I was looking through your app and it didn't look like you support less than a 30-degree bit. Is there a reason? Are they a bad idea?
Oh, good question. I don't like anything less than 30 degrees, only because I have that they break too easy. Right. And so the people use them. Mark has a 20-degree one that he's been using for a long time. So, I mean, I'm not one to say they don't work. But on the IDC Woodcraft app, what is there is everything that's in the IDC Woodcraft uh, inventory. Right. So I don't have bits for other companies. That would be kind of counterproductive to, well, over here. IDC Woodcraft as a CNC router bit company. Right.
Yeah.
So that's why the lowest angle I have is a 30-degree, and I mean unless the demand is out there, like the one for the beast, right? The baby beast, the badger, right? So many
Yep.
people ask me for that. That's why I'm testing that and working on that. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's pretty cool.
I've had very few people ask for a 20-degree bit.
Yeah.
And
I hunted for them when I was brand new to CNC and I thought, oh my gosh, I got to have like this 15-degree and this 20-degree angle V bit. And then I started actually V carving and I was like, now I got these two bits. Like, what am I going to do with these? Like, I
yeah,
don't hardly ever use them.
when it comes to wood carving, I find the 30-degree does just fine for really fine detail.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I've got a free file out there in one of my videos. Did this really complex doily that's about this big around, and it took
Yeah.
like 2 hours to carve, and it
Oh,
was all
wow.
done with 30-degree V bit.
That's pretty
So
cool.
anyway, that's the reason it's not something that is in the IDC Woodcraft inventory. So that's why it's not there.
Okay. Very cool. Very
I
cool.
can't claim feeds and speeds for other people's bits.
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea. All right. So our next
Oh, but
question is
before we go
from,
on,
yeah, sure.
yeah, just so that question about the app, for those who have just joined, IDC Woodcraft. Oh, I got it on the right side this time. Point to it, Kate. There you go. There. You got it. You got it. Okay. All right. For the IDC IDC Woodcraft has like the only app out there that is user friendly, I guess, for your CNC router bits. It has your feeds and speeds, got the router bit specifications, the uses for them. It's got settings in it for your different routers. So if you have like a Milwaukee or Makita or Ryobi, they each have different speeds for the dials. So that's on there. You can switch to
Looks like this.
hit the button. Yeah, hit the button.
Hold on. I don't want to hit the wrong button. Everything is so backwards. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like here. And you can just click on what you want. And then you can click here. And then it says select your units. So a lot of people had questions about that. You have inch, or you can change it to your millimeters. And then you have your Makita, of course, right here. Or you can change to any of all of these other options that he's got on here. So let's just do spindle, and then you can actually select your own material. Select your material, and then it gives you all of your feeds and speeds, and then it gives you the router bit data. And I cannot personally, I just want to like make my own personal little to-do about this. I use this darn app all the stinking time because sometimes I'll be working with a piece of wood and I'm like, crap, how long is this bit? Is this going to carve into it with, the collet? Because you're trying to be safe and you want to make sure that, your bits are checked properly and you've got to make sure that all of the things sync up. And so having that app is so freaking handy because I don't have to go back into Vectric. I don't have to, figure out the right tool path. I don't have to hit edit. I don't have to look at all the tool specs. It's all right there on my phone. Plus, I can also change the material if I need to really quickly to just, oh, what are the RPMs for this particular whatever.
Mm.
Now, as someone who's been doing it for a minute, I kind of have a good handle on it, but as a new beginner, like, this is a total game changer. I mean, to have the speeds and feeds preset is like, hello, gold mine. Yes,
Yeah,
please. Give me
yeah.
all the things. Like your tool database, all of my students that I work with, I'm like, okay, first two things, did you download the IDC Woodcraft database? Step two, did you download the app? Like, let's get on the same page and make sure that we're not riding the struggle bus right out of the get-go, because
Right.
it's going to make your life so much easier if you already have all of them. And actually had a really good question from a student. He said, I don't like to have all of these extra bits in here. Can I just delete out the ones that I don't have? And I said, you can, but why would you want to? Like, in the event that you want to like run a different toolpath and see if there's like a different bit that might work more effectively, like a ball
Are you talking
nose
about in the
versus,
vector database?
yeah, just like in
Yeah.
your database, like the ball nose versus the something. And I said, why would you want to go in and delete that out? Because then if you have the ball nose in there and you can see what it might look like in your vector preview, then you might want to get that bit
Yeah.
versus deleting it out and just like, eliminating that option, that potential option for yourself.
One of the things you can do is actually grab the tool in the database and move it out into a different spot
Yeah.
if you have too much stuff. So yeah, one of the other things I did with the app, by the way, was it made it so you could purchase right in the app, because going to your computer, trying to figure out where to go, doing your search and maybe I should get
Mhm.
theirs, maybe I should get theirs. No, you pick up your phone, you pick out the bit and you buy it right there out of the phone. Right. Speed things
Yeah.
up. All right. We got 11 questions sitting out here, Kate, and then we need to start knocking something else out.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Mr. Jerry says, is the beast or hog bit on Amazon?
Julie and Liberty are on that now. I think it's already on the way. Is it on the way? Julian, you can nod your head.
I think
Is it on the
she went like
way?
this, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming
Yeah.
yes.
She's nodding her head saying, yeah, that's on the way to Amazon. Now I just have to wait for Amazon to do their thing. Sometimes they are a little slower than I prefer them to be.
Yeah. All right.
So,
So
but they're going to be there very shortly.
that's good. That's awesome. All right. Hello, Jen. How are you, my friend? All right. Let's see. Question about a question about heat when working with epoxy. I know someone who made a river table, and while it was curing, it caught on fire. Is this a fluke? Is this a fluke or something we need to worry about, or was this a bizarre fluke?
Ooh, love that question.
Well, so I've seen different projects and things like this that if you're not working with epoxy in the way that it's meant to be worked with, yes, it absolutely can catch fires. Some things you may not realize. Maybe they use two different tactics, and I've done this before. Just being in the zone, not thinking. Sometimes I've put alcohol like on top of the surface, and and just sprayed it, because that's actually a really great way to pop bubbles, so you don't have to use like the torch to pop a lot of bubbles. They just kind of, that alcohol will get all of the micro bubbles, so it's really nice. And then sometimes you'll go back later on and you kind of forget that the alcohol was there, and then you take the torch over it, and then before you know it, you have flames. So that might have been something that they did, and they didn't really show you anything else like that. You didn't get all the details. The other thing that can happen is maybe they were trying to use, they weren't using a deep pour epoxy, and they were using like something like a tabletop, or that was like a 1/4 inch pour, and they were pouring that, and then they were pouring another 1/4 inch and another 1/4 inch, trying to get to their maximum depth. And what happens is, with that exothermic um, reaction, while that epoxy is curing, it just gets too hot, and because it's not designed to be a deep pour, and so sometimes that can happen. So there's a lot of things. That's why it's really important to be knowledgeable before you try and make a river table. I actually had a friend of mine from church. He said, I'm trying to make this do this table deep pour thing, and he was putting duct tape and all kinds of stuff, and it was leaking everywhere. And I was just like, you have to use Tyvek tape. And I told him that from the very beginning, and he still did whatever he wanted and didn't use the Tyvek tape. And he goes, I finally had to just let it all go, went to Lowe's, got some Tyvek tape, re-poured it, and it didn't leak. And I went, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to be knowledgeable about the type of epoxy that you're working with and the product, because you have to remember it is a chemical.
And it's a chemical reaction too. And chemical
Yeah,
reactions generate heat.
you betcha. So that could easily have been why. So just do your research, do your work before, like we always say, get the knowledge.
Or ask the experts like Kate.
Yeah. Or
And we have Nate
anybody
Wood
else.
coming on next week, who is also
Yeah. I would love to
so
pick his brain.
yeah, he's does a lot of epoxy work. So that's a question you can bring to the table next week.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll write that down. All right. Jerry again, he says, first off, thank you both for all that you do. I watched your video on how to set up your cell phone to control the movement of your long mill. However, the information to execute this feature was not complete and not achievable with the information provided. What am I missing?
Okay, I'm not sure because I got it working for me. So what he's talking about, I made a video that if you have a long mill or if you're using G sender, it's not long mill. If you're using G sender, there is a up by the connect button up in the upper left hand of the screen. Next to that, if you have the most updated version, there's a little round button with a little radio beam on it or something, and you can click that, and you can set up to connect with your cell phone. So your cell phone will run your G sender, so you can actually be right over the machine with your cell phone, and your computer's over off on the side, right? And you're
Yeah.
looking at the G sender screen on your cell phone or tablet. So why that's not working, I'm not sure. I don't know what I was missing there because I ran through the whole thing. Someone told me there was something that was missing in that video, so I haven't gone back to check it out. But I think the only thing I was missing was how to save it onto your screen on your phone, as an icon button.
Ah, okay. I get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Onefinity actually has that where you can do it, remote control it from your phone too. I personally have not tried it just because I don't have internet out here in my shop, and so I'm limited quite a bit on what I can do and what I cannot do.
Yeah.
So
Jerry, what I would suggest is you go to the Long Mill website and search that out because they've got a step by step there too, and they'll probably have it listed for whatever
yeah,
I missed. The thing with making videos, I mean, try to cover everything, and I guess sometimes I forget. That's one thing I've always paid attention to in my videos as best I could, is because when I was searching out YouTube videos for answers, the creators are always missing stuff. They're never thinking from a beginner's perspective, right?
yeah,
And the minute they miss one little step out, then you're stuck. They go on. You're still going. Wait a minute. How'd you get there? What happened there? All right. So I apologize, Jerry, if there's something I missed there. I've had a lot of other people say that works from there. So, but go to the Long Mill website
yeah,
and look for it there.
yeah. All right. So hello, Cherokee Vapor. Kate, your thoughts on using Aura Mask or plastic wood filler? I saw this out here and actually kind of had to chuckle a little bit because I was actually using this earlier this week on a project, this plastic wood filler. I really like this stuff. I mean, I actually get the one that says natural, and I actually used it on a project. I have like a big baby name nursery sign back here, actually on my CNC I've been working on. I really like it, especially when I'm working with any type of ply, because I can just fill in any little spots, let it dry, sand it like anything else, and then, um, stain it. Looks perfectly natural. I don't have any problems with that. My thoughts on using Aura Mask. I love me some Aura Mask. So it's, there's a lot of things that you can do with Aura Mask. Absolutely. Of course, if you're not familiar with me and you're new to the show, I've been a sign maker for about 7 years, and I used a ton of Oramask with my vinyl cutter machine before I got my CNC. That's kind of what prompted me to just up the ante in my sign making business to give things a carved 3D look, just a lot of different things. So yes, I'm actually been working on a video quite extensively, kind of in the background. It's probably going to be a very lengthy, in-depth video on all things Oramask, how to do it with stain, with paint, what types of paint you need to use.
And the cases that you can't use Oramask, right? You got a
Yes,
couple of cases where you think you got a good adhesive surface, but you don't.
yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of sanding, there's a lot of paint. You know, do you need a primer? Do you need, what type of paint do you need to use? There are so many variables. So I've been working on this video for a couple of months now, trying to make sure that I'm getting everything right, and then also showing you examples of how to use it with what speeds and feeds. So when it comes out, I'm hoping it will be a really, really good video, and it'll really be really helpful. But just be prepared. It's going to be a very long video, but it will also be very in depth. So it'll get you across the finish line with using Oramask on your CNC. So
I should probably add the Oramask information in the Kickstarter guide as well.
yeah,
So for those
yeah,
of you who are really new to CNC at IDC Woodcraft, I've put together, this is a 27-page document, Kickstarter guide for those who are getting into CNC, right? So
yeah.
in the description of the video down below on YouTube or up above on Facebook, you can go click the link to get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I just want
So
to say,
should I add that into that about Oramask?
uh, yeah, I mean, if you want to, absolutely.
Basic stuff. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
Oh, I was over here in these main, in our main feed, and I was looking, a lot of people are giving you suggestions on comments. The Tasmanian, it says honey badgers are very hard to kill. Yes. Yeah, they're pretty cool animals.
Yeah, they
Somebody
are
said the
really thick
Tasmanian
skin.
devil, a
Tasmanian
rhino,
devil. Ooh, that's kind of badass too.
yeah, Goliath, the half would be the bulldozer. Um,
The bullburger? Is that what you said?
bulldozer, like a
A
machine,
bulldozer. Okay.
like just a bulldozer. Bulldozer bit. Chris said he likes the Tasmanian devil. They're saying the rhino, something that would just like, you know, like the bulldozer. Yeah, just like destroy it.
Right.
Oh, let's see. Yeah.
Oh, I saw one here. Chris said, I'm in trouble now. Post. It is in capital. So someone's yelling at me.
Uh-oh, let's see. Julian, do you see something that we're missing? She's back there just like laughing, like, what are we missing? She is, if you
Yeah.
guys see her, she is like legit laughing at us in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't
Okay.
try it, Julian. I'll pop you back out again. She's going, no, you won't.
Oh my gosh.
She's got too much power in this company now. I can't look at her. Oh.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. All right. Well, hopefully, Julian, if she sees the comment in all caps, she will snag that for us and pop it in.
Yeah.
In
We
the
got 8 more questions sitting out here.
Oh my gosh, yes. All right, so let's see. All right, what do we got next? So Darian, he says, question on the long mill auto zero plate, can you zero the 1-inch surfacing bit?
That's an absolute no. No, the Auto Zero will not fit that bit. Well, let me make sure. I mean, I gotta get the plate. I probably can't find the plate because when I was up in Canada, the girls came in and rearranged my shop.
Oopsie. Hey, now you have real women in your life. They come in, you make a mess, they come in, they clean up, and you still can't find your crap.
I could not ask for a better crew. Absolutely. So you could do the 1-inch. No, you can't. No, you can't. You'd have to change settings. This is the Auto Zero surfacing plate for the long mill. The way this is designed over the standard surfacing probe plates, is standard probe plates that comes down. It touches one side, then it touches the corners, right? This is designed to enable you to zero with V-bits, so you don't have to swap out when you're doing your touch plate. I'm not going to dive into this right now, but it's definitely a time saver if you're trying to zero out a V-bit. But the auto zero G-Sender is control software for your CNC router if you are Arduino based CNC routers. Like it won't work with a Infinity.
Yeah, no, you don't. It's just, that's why I was saying it would be really good to just make sure when you're doing your bits to make sure that that center of the bit is on the corner of the workpiece, not like the flute and everything is sitting on top of your workpiece and the flutes are hitting the outside of the material. Make sure the shank of the bit is aligned with the corner of your project. That's why you want to do that, and then use the paper method for the 1.5 or 1 inch zeroing bit or whatever you got, or surfacing bit.
Yeah, surfacing bits I usually eyeball. I just eyeball your X and Y because there's surface. All right, so.
Yeah, and it's 1.5 inches wide, so I mean there's that too.
All right, let's talk to Dion here.
Oh, hey, how are you, brother? It says, I had a few requests at my CNC makerspace to teach how to make signs. What's a good hourly teaching metric? My time and bit usage. Well, are they coming to your shop? Are you doing it over Zoom? How are you doing things?
Well, I would let's give them a number to work with. $70 an hour. What do you say?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how depth you're going to get. And it really depends on how much you're going to open yourself up to. Actually, that might be something I might consider doing too, is just having makers, if they want to just talk how to make signs and, get off and running just for sign making. That's actually a really good idea, Dion. Thank you for the idea.
Yeah, the whole thing with this is you have a skill, you're selling your skill. Right. We don't ever want to undercut our own effort and time that we put in ourselves, the blood, sweat, equity. You've earned the right to charge something that you're worth.
Yeah.
That's why I told Kate, Kate, you're going to charge this much when you're doing your one-on-ones. Right. It's like when people are selling projects, they often undersell themselves. Because they don't have the self-value. And what that does is that brings you in low-quality clients. You have low-quality customers. If you are lower budget in your mindset, you're going to bring in lower budget people. Yeah. And lower budget people are pains in the ass. Right? When they're needy, they're helpful, they need a lot of help, they're always coming to you. They don't respect your time because they don't respect their own time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
There's Mad Dog.
What's going on? The guy that was my video guy out in Nevada when I was at the AWFS. First of all, thank you for the contribution, brother. $10. That's why he's big, bright, and yellow. All right, because he's made a little contribution. Hi, Kate and Garrett. Been gone for a bit. Yeah, you have. Just got out of the hospital, ready to get back into your machine. Well, brother, you're going to have to message me. Send me a text. Tell me what's going on with you.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well. We'll be definitely saying a prayer for you, sir. So, Oh gosh, okay. David, he says Kate needs a Women Who CNC logo sign in the other side to balance her Rise and Shine logo. I have a confession. As a sign maker and as someone who does epoxy, I kind of boogered up by Women Who CNC sign, and I was a little frustrated with myself. So I stained it, and then I carved it, and I really thought I was going to be able to get the epoxy in just at the right level, and everything would be okie dokie. Well, it was pine. First of all, I always say, ugh, you guys know how I feel about pine. I'm not a fan. Anyway, I wound up not carving it as deep as I probably should have, and I kind of made a mess of it, and then I tried to surface it and then fix it, and yeah, it just turned out really terrible. So I have a new philosophy for that. I think I'm actually going to take some different types of like really cool pieces of wood that I have and basically join them all back together and then cut out a really big cool circle and then recarve and then do the epoxy in there. So then that way it'll really highlight all the different woods that I want to use. I don't know, my mind's just kind of working. But after I made the hot mess disaster, I just got really frustrated and I've just been super busy. So I haven't done it. But yes, it's going to go right here. It's going to go right here. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be huge.
It should be a big one.
It is. It's going to be
So
massive.
Kate had a question for me a couple weeks ago. Kate, you asked me, should I dismantle Rise and Shine in favor of, right?
Yeah,
And
man, that just eats at me like every single day because I'm trying to create this new identity for women who CNC, but man, Rise and Shine has been my baby. It's been my baby for so long. And it's like I don't know. I have a hard time because I'm like, because women who CNC is awesome, but it doesn't say like what I do. Like every woodworker has like some type of particular thing like for their woodworking business. And I don't know. I feel like Rise and Shine was kind of a hot mess like I was way back when, because I kind of have this logo and then on my Instagram there's like Rise and Shine, which was my original logo, which I had a sunflower on, and now I'm just like, now I have women who CNC. So I'm like, do I transition my YouTube channel over to Women Who CNC? Because I don't feel Women Who CNC is a collective. It's a group of women. It's not just me. Even though I started it, it's not me. It's all of the women who CNC, not Kate who CNC. So I don't know. I don't feel comfortable like taking over that identity. I don't know. I feel weird. Would you feel weird? Like, would anybody else feel weird about like taking over something like that? What I mean, okay, I'm just gonna shut up. I'm rambling. I'm just gonna shut up. Tell me what you think.
It's such a good topic because this is where it goes back into thinking about a niche, right? So for those of you who want to start CNC businesses or working on it, and it's kind of like if we don't have clarity on what we're doing, right, then that means we're kind of scattered and we're doing different things. Think about going to a craft show or a flea market, and someone's got just a bunch of crap that they collected, and it looks like a garage sale, right? Like an estate sale or something. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just stuff, right? But when you go to in a craft show and you go to somebody's booth and they've got nothing but American flags, so you know what they do, right? And it's very clear what they do, and they can present it very clearly, and it makes their business much more focused. They know what they're doing, they know what they're making, and know where they're going with their work, right?
Yeah.
So when we have multiple things going on, now we have split energies, right? And so that
is.
in some ways that Rise and Shine can slow Women Who CNC, the growth of that down, right? And with other creators, without the focus, get yourself into a niche that it will certainly slow you down. That's one of the things that keeps your business from working, is not having a niche. And we often want to, like, we're afraid to let go of some of the things like what you are, because we don't have enough belief in ourselves that this is where we're going to go. It's going to work. Damn it. In my business, I've had people, you've had them already. People, can you design this for me and how much will it charge? I say no. That's not what my business model is. My business model is an educator, right? But it's also being that way, point to it, Kate. See me in a CNC router bit company, right there.
Yeah.
A CNC router bit company, but I got much bigger plans for what I'm going to do. That's going to be much more helpful in the CNC community. So.
See, and it's really hard because, like, in my brain, I feel like I have these like split split desires, if you will. And this is again just like me being like super vulnerable right now and just kind of like saying, putting what's out there is I am such a creator. I love to create. I love to design. I love to do all these projects and get into epoxy and sign making. And I have all of these interests, but there are only so many hours in a day. And I have to dedicate some of that time to the women who CNC, like do things and manual kind of in the background and trying to shoot YouTube tutorials and still trying to be a mom and a wife and all the things. But I really feel torn because I feel like if I'm not creating and I'm not doing, then I feel like I'm gonna lose like a part of myself, and I don't know that I'm ready. I'm fully prepared to like let that go because
Mm.
me not being out here like physically working, doing, creating, building, you know, designing is like I feel like I'm losing a part of myself, and I hate that.
You
I
are.
hate that.
You are. We have, in order to have something for everybody, in order to have something new, we have to let go of something.
Mm,
Okay. We have to create the space. And
yeah,
it's not comfortable. That's the most uncomfortable thing on the planet is letting go of our baby, in your words. All
it
right.
is. Yeah,
But
it really is.
when it comes to business growth, that that uh, what got you here will not get you there, right? And so the things that have you here will not get you there. Those got you here, but they won't get you any further,
Oh,
right?
come
And
on.
that means Kate has to change again.
Duh. I
Yeah,
don't like
I
it.
know.
I
All
don't
right,
like
come
it.
on.
All right,
Oh,
all right.
we got 5 more questions hanging out here.
All right. So we've got R. Murphy. Never mind answering my question. I scheduled a one-on-one with Kate.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. So R.
Thank
Murphy is a
you.
smart guy. I got to tell you something. Okay. He's investing in himself. He's saying, okay, I'm a little stuck. I'm not quite getting it. He's going to someone who knows to teach him. I promise you, not just R. Murphy, but anybody who does this kind of one-on-one stuff, Kate does one-on-ones. You will go
Yeah.
miles in that 1 hour over what you would think that you would be going into. You will not just solve your problem. Kate is going to take you past that. So schedule a one-on-one with Kate. Just invest in
Yep.
yourself, right? You're
Yeah.
buying speed. Otherwise, think about it. We all have done it. We'll be working on this thing. We're trying to beat ourselves through it, and we don't realize how much time we spend on it. And then we get with somebody who knows they walk us right through it, and then they take us past it.
Yep. I
Right.
mean,
So
I'll
you're
give you guys
buying.
the prime example. I did it with Garrett. You know, I bit the bullet. I spent the money, and you know, but it was worth every because I had a list of questions a mile long, and like anybody who comes into something, if you're paying an educator, you want to make sure and get the bang for your buck. So I always send all of my students like an email before, and I'm saying, hey, I saw you having trouble in your note when when you scheduled. Send me a list of all of your questions that you have. I love my student David. He is so fantastic. He sent me like a 2-page email of all of his questions and I printed them all off. I like to do prep work. So if there's a file that you're having an issue with, send it to me. It's just, it's a great way to nail down all of those questions, get them all, answered, we'll talk them out, get them knocked out. I did that with Garrett and he was like, "Man, you got a lot of questions." I was like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he
Be
stuck with me
respectful.
and we
Yeah.
answered it. So it was
Yeah. At the
awesome.
same time, be respectful of Kate's time. Right. We get bombarded with emails. Right. So
Oh, that's
there are
okay.
limits to what we can handle.
Yeah. By the way, just real quick, I am on fall break this week with my kids. So I actually did block time out for the next couple days. I'm actually off. So next week I'll be back hitting it full time, back at it. So just a little quick side note on that.
All right. Okay. Oh, and Dion. This goes back to Dion, right? Dion, think about this. So someone has signed a schedule a one-on-one with Kate, right? They're buying speed, right? Brilliant move. That's business strategy. You buy speed, right? So this person's buying speed. Dion, think about the people you're teaching. They are buying speed. They are buying knowledge, right? That has value.
Yeah. All right, so we've got Lamont. Thanks for your videos on CNC on YouTube. I am a high school woodworking teacher. I have to say, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, woman.
Yep.
I'm not sure, ma'am. I'm assuming man.
Yep.
But I love that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I was actually talking, I think it was maybe a couple months back, we were talking about trying to find a regular, somewhat smaller CNC that I could take into our regular high school because they have an entrepreneurs class there, but they like to bring in, people that do all types of different work. And I thought being an entrepreneur, business owner, and a female in a predominantly male um, driven field with CNC, it'd be a cool experience. So I love that you still teach woodworking in high school. That is absolutely
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yeah. And
Love
by the
that.
way, anyone who's in the educational system buying for schools, we are now working with them as well. All right.
Oh,
So
very cool. Love
yeah,
that.
so you get a tax ID number, a tax exemption to us, get a purchase order to us, and we'll get you taken care of. So another thing that Julian squared up for me.
Aw.
You see
I
in the
love
back,
her. She is the cutest thing ever. She is as cute as sliced bread back here. I'm just telling you right now. She's so cute. All right, let's knock out these last few questions we've got
yeah,
here. All right, so David has a question about pocket allowance. Oh, David. Okay. I'm okay. David is one of my students. He came out and he spent the entire day out with me here while he had an airplane. He's an airplane pilot. And he had a layover, so he came out and hung out. This is something he and I literally spent an hour trying to figure out. Maybe you can talk with me about this. Okay, so it says, why does a negative number make a larger cut and a positive number make a smaller cut? Seems backwards. I'm sure there is logic in there somewhere. So not in the allowance offset, like on the pocket, like when you have your pocket toolpath and it says offset allowance, not there because positive is positive and negative is negative. But I can't remember if it, I think it is like what he said, it's in pocket allowance.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
do you know
So I
why
get what
that
he said.
is?
I remember when I came across that, I was thinking the same thing. It felt
Yeah.
backwards. I think it's just the way Vectric has looked at it and the way they
Okay.
thought. So Vectric is backwards. I mean, it's their fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's somebody's logic, and I'm not sure whose it is.
It's really odd.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to find um yeah, because we were talking about it and I'm like, no, I'm like, this is not right because I was trying to shoot a YouTube video on it, and then I was like, this doesn't make any damn sense. Like, this is going to be so confusing for anybody that is trying to figure this out. Like, it just makes no logical sense. For the pocket allowance, it's right. A positive number is smaller, and a negative number is bigger. I don't know. Maybe Mark can help provide some insight on that, but
but
I think you're right. I think
um,
it's just Vectric is just backwards.
it's yeah, but yeah. The, I want to bring this question out. Um,
From Jimbo, my only reservation would be you giving the feeling that you only help women with CNC sessions. Nope, I don't. I do run the group Jimbo Women Who CNC, but I actually work with men and women um, for my CNC sessions. Actually, there is over on Garrett's website for the Learning Center. You can go and schedule a one-on-one directly through his website, or you can actually just reach out to me directly. But I do work with men and women
yep.
alike. So
I fully support Kate. She's really good at what she does, and that's why she's here. That's why I endorse her one-on-one abilities.
yeah,
So
so
just
it's a
want to
lot of fun.
it's a good thing. Just clear the air.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
she's created the Women Who CNC group because there are some people out there that just aren't very nice, hold a bit of have a bigger ego than they need to have. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And so, and women do think differently. So then they communicate differently. Like somebody said, that icon looks like a hamburger as a woman. I'm going, what do you mean? Is this right? So we see things in a different way than they do. All
Oh
right,
my
I got a
gosh,
couple.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, Travis, he says, question, I'm new to CNC. I have Carveco maker that came with the Onefinity, thinking of being V-Carve Pro. Are there any hidden costs to V-Carve? Nope, not unless
No.
you want the laser module. That's the only thing that comes separate. And in my interest, I personally like using Lightburn versus the Vectric laser module. It's actually a lot cheaper. I think the Lightburn module is like, I don't remember. It's been a couple years since I purchased it, but I thought it was like 250 or 200 or something like that. And the Lightburn software is actually $60. And there are a ton of Lightburn videos out there on how to use it. So I personally like Lightburn, but if you don't want to have to relearn another really kind of in-depth software, the Lightburn laser module is definitely doable. So let's see.
Yeah. The
Um,
one thing with the other thing is there's a lot more Vectric support videos out there than there are Carveco on public YouTube.
yeah,
You got me,
absolutely.
you got Kate, you got Mark Lindsay, right? I mean, you got three masters sitting right here. And when you get into 3D, you got to go find Mike Mazelic or Bull Shanigan. Between the five of us, you will become a master. Of course,
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is take Kyle's course.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say Kyle's course is like, it's awesome. A to
Yeah.
Z.
Yep.
A to
A to
Z.
Z and Vectric built for the beginner.
You got it.
That's linked in the description of this video. Facebook up above and YouTube down below.
You got it.
Go take a look at least.
Jimbo says scheduling a session is much quicker. It took me 2 weeks to figure out what I was trying to do when I probably could have had a 1-hour session and figured it out.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yep. I just said that same thing earlier. I hear you, friend. I did the same thing with Garrett. All right. Let's see.
Julian popped out a question for Mark. I have an answer for the pocket allowance question. Oh, it's coming up. All right, let's just pop that right in here. Thank you for bringing that up, Julian. Let's just pop him up. Kelly Ward, we got it. We got a question. Your question is there, but we're going to let Mark answer this. We should just bring Mark on board right now.
There you go.
We're at the end of the thing. So
all right. He says in the pocket toolpath, the pocket is cut inside. Let me start over. The pocket is cut inside the closed vector. Imagine standing on the starting point of that vector. The toolpath will cut to the right side of the starting point.
There's more.
Okay, so there's a little bit more. If you use a positive allowance, it's going to cut further to the right of that vector. If you use a negative number, that is cut is going to move to the left.
So it has to do with the right and left.
Yeah, it's going to cut.
I'll have to study it more. I got to make sense of this. Because I kind of finally gave up and I just said, okay, I'll just go positive, negative, and whatever. But Mark, maybe Julian will pop
I think that's a great video, Mark or Garrett, to dive into. Because it's a little bit confusing.
Mark, it's a great video, Mark, because he can explain it here.
There you go, Mark. I would actually like to understand the science behind that as well, because I did try to understand a little bit and I tried to shoot a video and I sat there with my pen and my paper going, okay, this one, but and I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm done. I'm not doing that. All right, he said, that results in a bigger pocket if you use a negative allowance. Yes, because it makes it bigger. And a smaller pocket if you use a positive allowance. It is a rather peculiar why it is the way that it is. But I think it would definitely be helpful to know a little bit more about it.
I think it's one of those things that once I look at it enough times and Mark tells me enough times, that'll go, the light bulb will go off and it'll just make total sense.
Like, just beat you over the head with it. I know. Let's see here.
Uh,
All right.
Looks like we have one more question hanging out here.
Yeah,
Oh, boy, Julian is on it. She got us taken care of on these questions. Thank you, Julian.
absolutely. It's been so much nicer just to be able to like talk and not have to like worry about scrolling
Yeah.
and paying attention and engaging. It's been so nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kate, what dust boot are you using on that machine? So I'm actually using the Nighthawk router. It's from Etsy. It's from Nick and Lindy. I believe it's like Sola, Sola. I can't remember. They have like kind of a little bit of a strange name. Anyway, they're on Etsy. I will be sure to send Garrett the link after this so he can shoot it into the description of this video. But just I don't get a commission back from or anything from them, but if you'll just put in the comments if you do wind up purchasing that, just say, hey, Kate Tucker sent you. They actually sent me that one for free. They're just really, really good people. It's a couple. They've got 3 kids. They're just doing everything they can to make their business go. They're killing it. They do a lot of work for Onefinity. They've got a bunch of really cool things. But I love this dust boot. It's really been a game changer for me, and I actually bought it because of all the epoxy work that I do. I had another one, but what happened is the opening between the router and the bits flying up, they were all kind of getting like stuck because it was such a steep angle. So it was like trying to go like this, and then I was getting kind of like a clog. And so they sent me this wider dust boot. I think it was actually on the flag that I made. I was complaining about the dust boot saying, it's getting clogged and whatever else. So she sent me this wide one, and it's got a really nice wide opening. So when the chips eject off of the epoxy, it has this nice wide opening and it goes up and it keeps the bit cool. It's just really nice. I can't say enough good things about it, but I will definitely link it below. But it is the Nighthawk router or the Nighthawk dust boot. So is that it? Did we get them all answered?
Yeah, we actually nailed it all.
Wow. Look, Julian's going, boop, boop. Yes.
Yes,
5
everyone.
What did he say? 5 bonus points to the moderator? Is that what he said?
Do what?
Oh my gosh. You popped up a quick question real quick. It was from, oh, there we go. 5 bonus points is awarded to the moderator house. Yes. Yes, I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Oh,
I think we are done. That was so much fun this time. It made it so much easier.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's knock off. We were at 9:42, so it is time to say goodnight to all. Have a happy CNC evening, and
Yes.
we will catch you next week with Nate Wood, a guy who has been he makes signs, epoxy board signs professionally, and so he's going to join us. And so epoxy is talk next week. So Garrett will be pretty much quiet the whole time because I have not done any epoxy.
No, that's all right. Yeah, so if you guys saw earlier, drop a quick comment on the YouTube side, or actually, yeah, I don't know. I'll post a video of this really quickly on my YouTube on maybe a short, and let me know what you think. Should we make the river table pieces wider, further apart, or should we push them a little bit closer together?
Show them a picture. Show them real quick.
All right, hold on. Let me get over here.
Kate is making. I've commissioned Kate to make me a beautiful river table.
Okay, so we have this here. So this right now is about 32 inches apart, and I've got about 2 to 3 inches in between here. Or should I pull this back like this and go like that? Should we make it wider? Because it's actually going to be transparent all throughout here. So it's going to be kind of like almost like a little bit like the color of your sweatshirt, but with a little bit more ocean color. So should we make it wider like this? I love this because it actually has there's room underneath here. So it almost kind of looks like a little bit of an island piece. It's kind of wild. Or should we make it, smaller back like this? Back a little bit smaller? Or should we do something like that? What do you guys think?
Okay. So
I have
wait
to
for
go
your
look at the
answers. We got one more
comments.
question we can handle.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
This is regarding the app. Any reason why? So Nova is asking any reason why plywood is not available in the material selection in the app? No, I'll have to dive into that and have that added to it.
Yeah.
Because plywood is a very common one. So
Yeah.
I get asked why don't you add U into it? You know, YEW wood, and some of these bizarre woods. There's so many wood species, it's next to impossible. So we just selected the most common. Plywood wood species is pretty common.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys really quickly. Look, I was at the Woodcraft in Kentucky. Like I said, I was on fall break. I got Purple Heart.
Ooh.
$18.99 for 2 pieces. Oh, this wood is like so ridiculously gorgeous. This bag doesn't do it any justice. But I'm gonna put some, maybe a cool Christmas gift. Do something. And plus, purple is like my absolute favorite. Is that not gorgeous? Oh my God.
Serious wood.
Oh, so pretty.
Yeah. All right. With that, let us rock out. We've been here for an hour and 45 minutes. So we have been here for 2 hours. So it's time to check out. All right.
All right. Hold on. We got to look at the comments here and see what people are saying about the river table.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So Chris says wood on the edges. Oz says wide. Carolyn says wide. Ellen said wide. Ralph, I like the wide version of the river table.
Guess I'm getting a bigger table, aren't
I? Raven said keep it out of the sunlight. Yeah. Julie and Tom said we like the wood on the edges as well.
What do you think, Julian? Wide or narrow? With your hand, show us. Oh, man.
She said wide. I personally like the wide too. All right, let's see.
Okay, I guess we're going wide. I have to get a bigger house.
Yeah, I think it's 30. Oh, sorry. I think it's about 37 inches. He said wood on the Dion said wood on the edges. Yeah, they're all liking their. Ellen says woohoo. They all like it really, really wide. So I think it's going to be really exciting.
This is kind of cool. The whole group is building my piece of furniture. I like that.
I know. And it's going to be transparent. So it's going to be really cool. The next thing we have to do, guys, is ladies and gentlemen, is we need to figure out legs. How do we want to, do we want metal? Do we want wood? What do
I like
build?
unique. This is a unique table. I want unique legs.
Yeah. Jillian's like, I don't know. We're going to have to think about it. We're going to have to think about it.
I'm almost forking out thousands of dollars for this thing. Come on.
I know. Yvonne says wider equals more expensive. Yes. I've got plenty of epoxy. We are good. We are good on that. It'll stay nice and purple if it's 100%. Okay, they're talking about the Purple Heart wood. Yes, we talked about that actually last week. Mark actually gave some really great pointers for sealing all kinds of wood to make sure that the color stays really, really true and really, the color stays very dense. Or I don't know what I'm trying to say here. My brain's tired. The color remains the same as it did on day one if you can seal all the oxygen out of the wood. So
what's funny here is Dan said, aren't these decisions up to the customer? Garrett, LOL. In a way, this is kind of fun. You know, people are creating something for me, right? It's like getting stuff in the mail. I get stuff in the mail from creators. Mark gets stuff in the mail, right? And they're thank you gifts, right? This is kind of a thank you gift for me, and it's kind of fun. It's what we do. We're creators. It's our nature, right? It's what we do. So I'll just let everybody create my table. And they'll come, you'll bring this thing. I'll be going, what the hell is that? I thought I was getting a table.
For you know, we're gonna have a beach and an island and IDC in the middle of it. No, I'm just kidding. No, it is
All
going to be a very, very neat table. So I'm excited.
right. Okay. All right. Well, let's check out. I'm tired.
Yes,
And
I'm tired
so,
too.
brothers and sisters. Oh, even Julian popped in on that one. All right.
She said epoxy legs with bits inside. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be neat.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. We're checking out.
All right.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
I'm trying to get out of here. I'm tired.
Okay, Grouchy the Grinch. We all gotta go now because he's grouchy. All right. Yeah. Good night, guys. Bye.
Good night. We'll see you next week for Nate Woods. Be ready for epoxy questions. Hasta la